Hey there guys, this is Minute Sylvester and welcome back to this Elixir programming language tutorial series. So in this video, we'll be taking a look at the file module of Elixir. File module is primarily used to read, write or append to files. So we won't be looking too deep into this because you don't need this unless you have a very big application. So before we step into files, you should know why it is required. So let's say your application needs to create a log file. So it needs to write all of the logs to a file. So in that case, it needs to create a file and then put all the entries into it. Or otherwise, let's say anything that is to be provided as a hard copy. So let's say hall ticket for a competitive exam. So once all the information is there, it is needed to be passed to the particular user as a file so that they can take it out as a hard copy. So these are the primary usage of files. So anything that needs to be given as a hard copy or anything that needs to be kept outside of a program as something separate. So now that we know why files are used, let's go ahead and do a few basic operations of file. So I'm creating a file called fileoperation.ex. So let's start off by defining a module. I'm going to call it file operation. And we'll start off with reading a file. So I'll say get input to get the name of the file that the user wants to read. So yeah, first of all we need to list all the files available. So for that I'll use the ls function in the file module. So that will get a list of all the files available in the current directory. So once that is there, we'll say the available files are and we'll use enum to display it. So files and so that should display the name of all the files, and then we have to get the input file name to read. So we'll use the gets function for that. You have to get rid of the very new line character. So once that is there, we'll maybe pass it on to a function called perform read operation, and the argument is input file name. So I'm defining that function now. So that is perform read operation. Here I'll call it file name. So reading a file, let's go over it in the terminal. So the best thing you can do after reading a file, just for example or learning, is display the number of lines and words in it. So we'll go over that in the terminal. So I have to compile my file. I'll say, now before that, let's just go over the file stuff. So when I read a file, it is returned like this. There's a OK and then the body of the file. So let's maybe perform it on maybe calculator.ex. That is the first program that I demonstrated in this channel. So that has to be a string. So when you do that, there you go, you have OK and then the body as a string. So when I say body, the string is returned. So what we'll do is we need to count the number of lines, and as you can see in the string, the end of line is indicated by a slash in. So to get the lines in the file, all you have to do is split them on the new line. So let's give that a try. So when you split them on new line, you get the individual lines of a file. And to obtain the number of lines, all you have to do is call the count function from enum module on the result of the split function. And there you go, there are 50 lines. So let's open up the calculator file and then check it, and yeah, we do have 50 lines, so that's good. So then we have to count words. So words are going to be a little tricky. We will have to write our own regular expression. So now we have the body, and a regular expression is in this format: a tilde, r, and then 2 forward slashes, and in between those forward slashes you write your expression. So what I'm trying to do here is split each word. So to split on word characters, we use \w and then a plus to do it on every instance a word occurs. So let's see what that gives us, and that gives us all the empty symbols and stuff. This is because I'm splitting on the word characters. So I wanted to split on all the other, everything except a word. So for that, I just add a power symbol in front of our symbol. So when I do this, you get words. That's pretty good. And then there's a simple n. So these n is resulting from the new line that we are adding here, like this. So we don't want that to happen. And the underscore is also a little weird. So to get rid of that, we'll add them to the expression too. So a single slash indicates or. So if it's a new line or underscore or anything other than a word, split on them. And that looks pretty decent. So the n is not disappeared because the backslash already means something in a regular expression. So in order to escape that, you just add another backslash. So now we should not see an n, and that is fantastic. So now all we have to do is use the count function again. And 145 words. So now that we know what to do, we're just going to reflect this in our operations. So let's use a case to match our results. So I'm performing a read. So I'm expecting a OK and then a body. So if that is matched, I'm saying lines equals string dot split the body on new line. And I need a count, so I'll say count of the resulting operation, and the same for words. And here I put our regular expression. So a new line underscore or anything except a word, and do it on multiple instances. So in the end, I'll just say the file has words, and just let me rename this to lines count and words count. So words count and lines count lines. So if there is no file, then it is going to return an error. So in that case, we'll say cannot be opened. So this should pretty much do our read operation. So let's try it out. Let's compile the file. And there is a compilation error, so it's in line 19. So let's just match it with something. Let's say reason. And there's another error, so 16. So it is a dot. Anything else? So I guess we're good to go. No, 19. Okay, so there is this symbol missing. Okay. Yep. So file operation dot get input, and I'll say calculator.ex 145 words and 50 lines. Okay, so we'll do that again on a different file, shop data. So that should be a lot. 583 words, 134 lines. Fantastic. So this is how you perform a read in files and maybe go through the data, analyze things. So in our case, we just counted the words and lines. So now that we have done the reading part, we'll try to write something into a file. So I'll say write file. So here I'm going to do everything individually over here. So we'll say we'll get the name of the person, and we'll also make it the file name. So I'll say enter your name and get rid of the new line character, and I'll say a variable called sentence has this value. So your name is the file name because that is the name. So now I'll say file.open. The open will look for a file, and if it is a file existing, it'll open it, otherwise it will create a new one. So I want the file to be created and the name of that file to be my name. I want to open it in the write mode. That is one option. You can just keep on passing all these things. So I'm just going to open it in write mode, and once the file is open, I'm just going to say write to the file the sentence and end. So let's see how that works. So IEX will compile. So the function name is file.write file. It's file operation write file. So I'm just saying my name is Vinat, and there is a file created and it says your name is Vinat. So that's fantastic. So that is what we wanted. So that is the basic operations that you can perform with files. You can write to them, you can append to them. So in that case, all you have to do is instead of write, you can say append. So maybe in a different functions, maybe you can try that out. And there are various modes if you do check the documentation. So when I say when you open, so there they are in the open function in the documentation, all the modes are like listed. So you might want to try different types of those, but I'm just going to stop here. So we've done the basic things. We've read a file, we counted the words and lines in it, and we created a file and wrote to it. So that is the basic operations done. So this is where I'm going to stop. So if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. So this is Minute Sylvester signing off. Until next time, keep coding.